Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Hi, Patty. Hi.
I have not had a good week.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You know, they say on Sunday, Patty could. I had a couple hours to kill. I didn't want to start a big project because it was only a couple hours. And then I was going to a friend's going away dinner for her brother. So on Sunday, I was sitting there doing a little crafty project and I realized, oh crap, Patty, you must get up and get dressed and get out of here. You're going to be late. So I was already dressed, but I needed to do my hair and my makeup real quick, just something simple. So I stood up with my arts and crafts lap tray in my hand and I turned to walk towards my bedroom. And as I picked up my foot to take a step forward, my feet were asleep and I didn't know. Do you know, lickety split, I face planted in my own living room on my new hardwood floors. I have a sprained ankle, a bruised knee, a busted up elbow. I don't know if you guys can see it. It hurts so bad. My
I'm
ankle was the worst. Today's the first day I could put some weight on it. So, hey, we're getting better.
So sorry you're going through
sorry.
that.
It just makes me laugh because how come I can go play golf? How come I can go do this? How come I can go backpacking? But I can't get up out of my living room face planting into my couch. Oh, goodness. So, you know that thing that everybody tells you that as you get older, when you get injured, it is not the same? I am forewarning you right now, folks, in case you haven't been paying attention to those folks that are a few generations ahead of us. Listen to them, they know what they're talking about. My daddy used to always say, getting old isn't for wimps, okay? You don't heal the same. And I say that because here's a little widgety fact you might not know. Patty's a retired gymnast. Okay. I was in gymnastics for several decades, blah, 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 blah. I know how to wrap my own ankles, my own wrists. I am fully capable. I've had more banged up, bruised up, sprained wrists, sprained ankles than I care to admit. So I know how to wrap it, take care of it, and get back on track relatively quickly. However, I'm getting older and my body doesn't agree with how quickly that should come back. So just so that you are all aware, don't go doing anything crazy. We don't heal like we used to. And yeah, I stopped naming my ankle different continents. I've been naming it something different every day, but today's the first day it's actually going away instead of morphing into something else. So yeehaw. Go me. We're going to talk about a few things today. And if anybody has anything in particular that they want to discuss, we will get there. But today I want to talk to you guys about a few tricky things that I'm going to see and we're going to see becoming more and more of a problem as the real estate market continues to evolve. Work with me here. Usually I'm giving you guys information several months in advance. So several months from now, when something comes about, you can go, oh, I know what to do here. I remember Patty talking about this. This makes sense. Let me tell you guys something, okay? The market is turning. It is changing. There are changes going on in the market. We're seeing vacants sit longer now. They're not getting rented as fast. The demand isn't a problem, okay? So we got to be a little bit more creative with our marketing and how we're doing things, but that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is still yet to come. See, real estate goes hand in hand with sales, go hand in hand with rentals, okay? They go together. So usually when the real estate market crashes, it affects the sales market and the rental market, okay? Because it's the real estate market that crashes. When that happens, a lot of these real estate agents and people involved in lending are going to get hungry quickly, okay? And if Real estate has no value. People aren't buying like crazy. And if they are buying like crazy, they're investors and they're buying for pennies on the dollar where it doesn't come with one of those big commission checks. So why is Patty telling you this? Patty, why are you talking to me about real estate agents that are going to be starving in the near future? Because they're all going to start pretending to play property manager. They think because they have a license that they know how to handle things. They think they know what the rules are. The reality is they know nothing. They don't have to take fair housing classes annually. They're not held to a standard because they're the agent. They're held to the standard because they're the property manager. So what you are going to start seeing is you're going to start seeing a lot of overzealous property managers. No, overzealous real estate agents trying to rent properties for a client. They're going to put an advertisement, we'll help you find a rental. Why? Because it's a way they can make money. Okay. And now you're going to be dealing with agents that are like, oh, I'll be there at the move-in inspection and I'll be there at the lease signing and I'll be there at the blah, blah, blah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pump your brakes. You pay a commission for a referral fee, right? You pay a leasing commission for a referral fee. Once you agree to rent to them and their application's approved, that agent is done. So cut them off at the jugular. They're out of the picture. You now become the agent for the owner as their property manager, and that person is no longer needed. Thank you. Your job's done. It's completed here. If you show up to the move-in inspection and the real estate agent's present, I tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to move you in today. This is only for leaseholders. And unfortunately, there's people here that aren't on the lease. So I am not going to be able to continue today. Oh, but I don't want you to have to do that. They've already rented a truck and there's all these things going on and they were planning on moving today and then we really want them to move in today. Well, I can't do it with you present. So we're going to have to reschedule. At any time, they can say, I'll go ahead and leave and come back later. That would have fixed the problem. But they're not smart enough to tell you that they'll leave and come back later. So you just kind of have to be firm and assertive of how you're not proceeding any further because they're not on the contract. See, by law, are you allowed to discuss the details of a contract with someone that isn't on the contract? Oh, that makes total sense, Patty. Besides, you don't want that overzealous real estate agent's 2 cents, trust me, okay? They're not worth anything, and they're going to give you nothing but a headache. So that is how you combat them. I'm sorry, I can't move you in today. This move-in inspection and lease signing is for leaseholders only. Just got rid of them. Oh, you're the agent. You're here again. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to help her with anything because you're not on the contract, so I can't even speak to you. Your job's done. You got paid your referral fee. I am now her agent. Why are you here? Okay, you need to start putting your foot down with that. We're starting to see a lot more overzealous real estate agents. Whoa, we almost fell over. Telling us how to do our job. Telling us how things are going to go. And the best one I heard all day, and you guys will love this, is this overzealous real estate agent is telling the property manager how because they had no stove or no oven, I don't remember which one it was, and the agent's in here, I don't want to call her out, but they're telling her you're going to give them a 20-day per diem because they had no stove. Are you guys paying attention? Because hold on, let me show you what I'm talking about. So this overzealous real estate agent is saying that they're owed a $20 rent credit for not having a stove per day. Per diem means per day. Okay. You guys, the rent's $5,100. How much is the per diem? I'm going to guess is just over $150. $160, and I'm doing the math in my little blonde brain. And yeah, 100 and how much?
170.
It's $170 per diem. So this agent that has no idea how this industry works, they do sales, is trying to tell me to give a $20 rent credit to the client per day. And I owe him 170. Now, do you understand? They're not there to do anything except get in your way, cause you a headache. Okay, you need to steamroll them. They do not know what they're doing. They are sales agents. They know nothing about property management. And they will continue to try to treat you as if they do, but you can tell they don't when they do things like that. Demand a rent credit per diem of $20 for no oven. $20. Geez, you're making my job easy. Thanks so much. You want to come manage more property for me? Sorry. You're going to see a lot more agents getting in your business, trying to be in your business, trying to help their client. And let's face it, you're going to give them a nice commission check at the beginning. They're kind of like stray cats, okay? And mind you, I'm a broker. I'm one of these people, okay? So I'm talking about myself. But they're kind of like stray cats. If you feed them, they'll stick around. Shit. That means that you're going to have to stick with them through the tenancy? No, because this is a referral for placement. Once they gave you that referral, their client became your client and they're out of the picture. They represent no one anymore. Bye-bye. 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 I'm the property manager. I'm the agent for the owner. I represent the owner and the tenant. I'm a dual agent in this situation. Your commission has been paid. Thank you. Enjoy your day. The only way I could discuss anything with you is if you wanted to add yourself to their lease contract. That's a good one, okay? If you want to continue to talk to me and they're okay with that, then we can add you to the lease contract as a leasee. You're going to have problems with overzealous, overpowering real estate agents trying to make a buck. The market's changing. We're going to see that go down. I mean, look at it this way. If all they did is sales and there are no more sales, how do they eat? Don't be funny and say something silly or political, because I don't like it when people get angry at me about politics. I'm just trying to be fun. I vote for Monty Brewster, none of the above. If you're not old enough to know what I'm talking about, go look it up. It's a movie with Richard Pryor way back in the 70s, and it was called Monty Brewster. I think that's what the movie was called. Val's in here. She'll know what I'm talking about. It was about these two old rich farts that found this broke homeless guy on the street, and they took him and made him into a millionaire, but he had to spend all this money and couldn't have any value, any asset from it. Like you could buy $1 million stamp, but then you own the $1 million stamp. But if you mail it, you don't own the $1 million stamp anymore, kind of thing. Okay. So very interesting movie, but he ends up having to spend all this money and not have anything to show for it. So he runs for a political campaign and he pushes the issue of none of the above. So I'm just trying to push that issue now. None of the above. I don't want to get into politics. Okay, let's change the subject. We talked about overzealous real estate agents. We're going to see a lot of that in the very near future. They are going to get quite challenging. Don't subject yourself to it. Once they give you the client, they're done, they get paid, and you don't talk to them anymore. You must set that ground level and set them straight, especially at hello, or they're just going to call their agent every time they have a problem. That's not how this works. When they have a problem, they should be calling their property manager. So that's going to fall on you, not training your tenant and not training their agent properly. And you usually get what I call a tag-along agent, is one that just won't freaking go away, is they're usually related to the tenant in some way. You know, it's their aunt, it's their uncle, it's their brother, it's their cousin, it's somebody. So usually that's when you get a tag along agent that just won't disappear, as they're related to your tenant in some way, shape, or form. So just trying to oversee the situation. And the reality is they don't know the rules about the situation. They're just trying to keep their finger in the pot so they can soothe their family members' emotions. All right, somebody had something. I heard them. What you got? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. So we're going to see more and more agents come about with commissions if we're putting stuff on the multiple listing service. We're going to see more and more of this type of thing go along. One thing that I could tell you to make sure that's in your criteria is that an applicant must view the property prior to applying. Patty, say that again. Got you. The applicant must view the property prior to applying. It's a requirement on my criteria. All applicants must view the property prior to applying. That way later, if they say they want to back out because they didn't realize that it was an upstairs apartment unit and they didn't want to carry all their groceries up and down the stairs every week, I'm going to use that criteria and throw it back at them. So there's a reason why I have that in there. It has to do with people that aren't looking at the property prior to renting it. They're just looking at photos online or having an agent check out the keys and view it for them. Why is Patty telling you this? Because Patty's had this problem before. Patty speaks from experience. I know what those little agents do, and they're just trying to make a living. You can't blame them, but they advertise their services in other states. So had a tenant that was relocating from another state to our state, and he had an agent, and this isn't the tenant's fault. This is completely on the agent. Okay, hands down. These applicants, sorry, I swallowed wrong. I thought I was going to have a cough attack for you guys. Thank goodness that didn't happen. Okay. Nope, not going to cough. We're good. Squirrel saved. All right. So now I forgot what I was talking about. Somebody reel me back in. Sorry. Nobody. Okay. We'll just change the subject and keep talking. I still haven't. Yes, I do have sample criteria up there, Tony, just for you, baby. Hey, Patty, Erica from Roadrunner. Is there a law that states we have to relocate a tenant to perform work in the restroom? The restroom will be inoperable for 8 hours. Look at it this way, okay? And this is me thinking out loud. Is there a law that says that you have to get them a hotel? No. But why would you get them a hotel if that was happening during the day and they both worked? Make sense? So having no plumbing for a day while major repairs are being done could be considered an inconvenience, and I'd give them a rent credit. If they were out more than a day, I would be giving them a hotel. But just for one day, that's an inconvenience. I'm sorry, I wouldn't be offering them a hotel very quickly. I'd just say, you know, you're not going to have the restroom for the day. You may want to go over to a friend's. You may want to hang out at the mall or Starbucks. They have free Wi-Fi. Can you tell I've done this a few times? I know all the right words. But yeah, I don't think that I'd be paying for a hotel on an 8-hour repair. Does that make sense? 10 hours? Yes. 8 hours? No. I think the biggest thing is, can your contractor get it done in 8 hours, or is that a bunch of horse manure? Because usually when a contractor says 8 hours, that means 3 days. Usually when they say 3 days, it means 2 weeks, right? I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. I'm actually going to try to put something in the chat. I don't know how this is going to work, so bear with me. I don't know if I could do this. I'm going to try. Nope, I can't. I'm sorry, you guys. Share. Can I do that? A photo. Can I share a photo? Oh, I can. Okay, you guys get ready. Let's see if I put it here. Did I put it here? I think I did. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Can anybody see that? Screenshot it. You guys see it? Okay.
Thank you.
Check this out. If you guys want
I
to do
see it.
that, I'm going to stop sharing it right now. So I'm going to count to about 10 and then I'll stop sharing it. Hey, I learned how to do something. You guys are awesome. Thank you. This is an in-person event in Carson with Dan next week. If you guys want to attend, it is free to attend. And we are serving lunch, and PRC always serves a good lunch. So just wanted to make sure you guys were aware. I let everybody know that my people were going to find out about it today. If you guys want to sign up for this, I'm not even joking. Whether you want your property managers there, whomever you want to send, Dan's going to be there talking about Prop 33 and Prop 34. I'm going to be there talking about how to prepare yourself for court. I'm also going to have an open format so that you guys can pick my brain and get the answers to the questions you want. PRC is going to be serving us lunch and talking to us about mold, fire, lead-based paint, asbestos, whatever problems we have there. And it should be a really, really good day. So if you want to come see me and have lunch and have a good time on somebody else's dime, sign up for this. Seats are limited, and we keep saying that and people don't understand. We already have 24 people signed up, and this venue seats 40. We're ready to add a second day if needed, but
So, what time is it, Patty, on that day? What is the time? I don't see the time on this slide.
it's from 11 to 2.
11 to 2. Okay. Thank you.
Not
And
a problem.
where do I sign up?
You can call Yomara. The phone number is on the bottom of that.
Okay.
But
Thank-
I'm letting you guys know, because a lot of us go, oh, let me talk to my friend about that. I'm going to see them this weekend. I'm letting you guys know. If you guys want to sign up for this, I'm trying to tell you so you're not like, I missed it, Patty. I'm letting you know there's only 40 seats available and they got over 22 people signed up, and AGLA has not advertised it yet. So this went out to PRC members, and now I'm bringing it to you before it goes out to the general public. So if you guys want to come to this, sign up, get in there, let's make it happen. And I'm just trying to help. It's on their website now. Okay, perfect. I just am trying to tell you guys, because a lot of times you guys want to come see me, and if I know it's a limited space, I want to let you guys know so that you get what you need. And then I'm doing an in-person at AGLA on November 9th, I believe it is. So I'll be at the Westmoreland address on November 9th. It's an in-person class. So we got some in-person stuff. And yes, Belcy, I am recording things that I do via Zoom, and then I'll put them up on the website so that you guys can interact as much as possible. For the PRC class, I'm going to do that via Zoom too. And I have somebody that's going to help me look at your guys' questions. So I'll send out a link and let you guys be involved with that one too. Should be interesting. Really want to hear what Dan has to say about the Senate bills and what's going on with us legislatively. It's not fun. It's not pretty, but we got to get this stuff to stop because it's just getting ridiculous. In the event you have a tenant that gives you a 30-day notice to vacate at any time during the tenancy, You always want to give them the notice of the right to an initial inspection. If you don't do that, you're more than likely not going to be able to deduct much from their security deposit. That's how that works. If you notified them of their right to have an initial inspection prior to them vacating, then you can legally deduct stuff from the security deposit. If you don't, then you can't. Okay?
Patty, one good question I have. I know that there are a number of rental agreements that are out there in the market. I would be interested in knowing what is the most effective one that you would recommend, by what company or what organization? One that would be considered complete.
I like your style because now you got me between a rock and a hard place. Okay. So let me tell you guys this. I've used four different contracts in my career. 5 different contracts, 6 different contracts, 7 different contracts, and I can see them all. I know car forms contracts by heart, depending on what year they were generated or revised, and that date is in the bottom left-hand corner. Why doesn't Patty like car forms? Car forms belongs to California Association of Realtors. I'm a broker. I know very much about these forms. When I was a regional property manager and somebody would come to me, usually a landlord with a problem, 9 times out of 10, it was on a car contract. 9 times out of 10 is, hey, Patty, help me get out of this. You know all those check boxes on a car contract? If you miss one, you're screwed. Got it? So the amount of human error that is allowed to happen on a car form is tremendous. And for that matter, I can't stand them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, because everything's a checkbox. If I'm holding your security deposit, check this box, check this box, check that box. Okay, regarding who pays the water bill, we're checking this box or this box. Regarding maintenance and repairs, it's this box and that box. Regarding this, it's this box. And if you miss a box, what happens to you, landlord? Oops, that was an important one. That was about attorney's fees. You see what I mean? You don't want to miss a box. So because it has so many boxes that you have to check, fill in the blank, do the this, do the, I hate them for that reason alone. Because I have watched too many of my property managers make simple mistakes that cost the landlord big problems because it's just a simple checkbox being missed. That's all it takes. Okay. So for that reason, I don't care for car forms. Okay. I like AGLIS forms. If you include all the addenda that you need. Okay. AGLA works great if you include all the addenda. And if you're sitting down with somebody like me, car forms aren't scary because I'm going to tell you, we got to double check and triple check that we didn't miss one single box. And when it comes to checking all those boxes, here becomes my next thing. Do you understand the questions they're asking you? Because most of them are written in legal jargon. Oh, yeah. Remember that. Don't forget that. Hold on to that. I love AGLIS forms. They're very thorough. The other one I like that does really good forms and really good documentation is the California Apartment Association, CAA. They are on a state level. They cover the entire state of California. And in my opinion, they have very, very thorough documents. In my opinion, their education is lacking. They don't teach you how to manage. And that's my thing. I want to teach you how to manage and stay away from evictions. Evictions suck. They're expensive. They take too much time. Blah, 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 blah. So I want to manage through that situation and avoid an eviction. And because that's what I want to do, I want to teach you how to do that. We want to avoid the garbage. I worked with a real estate broker that does property management, and she uses all forms from California Apartment Association. Their membership costs a bit more per year. I completely and totally agree, Tony. Trying to be very careful what I say, but California Apartment Association, CAA, and I've done a lot of stuff for them, don't get me wrong. I've judged industry awards for them. I've taught classes for them. I've done all kinds of things for them, but they run on a different, they cater to a different clientele. And their rental contracts are written out in simple English. That's why they're so long. That's why they're 13 pages long. Instead of using the legal jargon, they spell it out in terms that can be understood. They also are written by attorneys that stance is very transparent. So they treat their lease very transparent. So one of the terms of their lease is actually telling the tenant who the agent for service is. So in their lease contract, you must disclose who your agent for service is. And a lot of people go, well, what is that? What does it mean? Here, I'll tell it to you as simple as I can. You need to tell the tenant at hello who they're going to sue and how they sue them, how they serve them in the lawsuit. And that is in the lease contract. So it is full disclosure, full transparency. Here's all my cards. Here's what I expect. This is how it's going to be. That is CAA, California Apartment Association, and they are trying to teach landlords to just be transparent. In other words, don't poke Johnny in the eye, just ask him nicely to leave.
So in that particular instance, when you're working from your home office, you would not give them your home address, would you?
As far as what, to pay them rent to?
No, not for the rent, based upon what you just discussed in terms of who they would serve.
That's what you got to do. You got to tell them if they're going to sue you in a lawsuit, who your agent for service is, who they have to serve the lawsuit to. You got to give them the name and the address.
Okay.
Just so you guys know, that's what an agent for service is you're telling them who they can serve in a lawsuit.
So based upon that, that
trips up a lot of landlords because they're like, whoa, I don't want to put this information on my lease contract. Blah,
right.
blah, 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 blah. Here's the reality of that. It's public information anyway. If you're doing everything right and you've dotted every single one of your I's and crossed all of your T's, what are you afraid of? Okay. And I don't ever make the agent for service at my house. Let's make that very clear right now. If you look up title on my property, all my tax bills go to a P.O. box. I don't eat food tenants prepare and bring to me over the holidays, okay? For sure. In the hell not gonna put my home address on the freaking internet.
Patty,
that's the best thing with me too.
Here comes all the questions. Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
I was told that we can't use a P.O. box because the P.O. box can't be served.
You're correct. You can't use a P.O. box. That's for tax purposes. And you're right. But the reality is that tenant knows how to find the owner. They're not stupid. And all you have to do is run title and find out what else they own. Find out where the tax bill's going, and that's usually their primary residence. Okay, it's not rocket science to try to figure out how to find you guys. Usually an agent for service is only required if you have a corporation. Okay.
So if you go through an eviction and you never provided the service address, can they throw out the eviction because they were never provided that information up front?
Potentially, yes. That's what the proof of service is for. I've seen a lot of weird things happen with court cases, you guys. The worst one I've ever seen is very recent, where the client went through a jury trial and won, and then won the attorney's fees because they won the jury trial, right? So hired the firm I worked for to go after opposing counsel for the attorney's fees. Opposing counsel was Basta. Basta got creative. Basta filed an appeal saying that the eviction was wrong. The 3-day notice didn't have a phone number on it. That doesn't comply with the court. So now the appellate court says, or the, I'm sorry, I used legal terms. The Court of Appeals has said, okay, you're correct. This is a wrongful eviction. Now the tenant's suing the landlord for wrongfully evicting them. All because the landlord tried to go after the attorney's fees.
All because a phone number was not on there?
Yes, it's a requirement under California Civil Process 1162, under California Civil Process 1162 says that you must have a phone number on the 3-day pay rent or quit notice of where the tenant can call the landlord about paying the rent. If there's no phone number on the notice is bad.
Okay, so obviously an attorney did not complete
An
that.
attorney did do that.
Oh. Oh, okay, okay. So,
Attorneys are human. They make mistakes too. They miss the phone number. Therefore, the notice is bad. Therefore, the case is bad. And now the landlord is being sued for an unlawful eviction.
I have a situation currently. You and I talked about this case before. So what I did was I went to court on my own. And I asked the court to go ahead and dismiss the case without prejudice. So therefore I can bring it back. And then I immediately had, I'll tell who it was. I had immediately Dennis Block's office to go ahead and file for unpaid rent, because now it has been a total of what, 6 or 7 months of unpaid rent.
Yeah.
This idiot tenant writes me, says, oh, you refused my rent. Well, of course, when you have a UD file, you
But
cannot.
I'm not refusing it now. Now I'm demanding
Exactly. So now the attorney is
it.
demanding all 7 months. And he feels very confident that we're going to nail this one. The reason I mention it to you.
Who's helping you? Is Grace Long helping you over there? Is Dennis Block helping you?
I don't know yet. The guy that took the case and wrote everything down, he told me his name. His name is Matthew something. But he said he is like an assistant attorney, but he would not be representing me.
Tell him that you want Grace Long to help you. And when you
Okay.
talk to Grace Long, tell him you're a friend of Patty's.
Grace Long. Thank you. Okay, ask for Grace Long.
Can I
Friend-
teach you a secret?
Sure.
And everybody's listening, right?
Yes.
H.G. Long and Associates used to be the attorney of record for Fast Evict.
Oh.
So
Okay.
remember that tall blonde lady at Fast Evict that was a real firecracker?
Never saw any of them.
Okay. She's a real firecracker.
She's the one who came with the, what was the blue suit, right?
No, this is the taller blonde that spoke at all of the AOA trade shows. She's
Okay.
at Dennis Block's office now. Her name's Grace Long. Who you might be thinking of is attorney Leslie Bourne. Little tiny older blonde.
Yeah, that's
She's,
what.
she's
did.
retired.
Yeah, you're right.
She's retired. I knew as soon as I heard your voice, David, I'm like, no, you're a Leslie Bourne fan, not a Grace Long fan.
And she was with Fast Evict?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. So I'm gonna call over there and ask that they, in any event, I did not respond to her. From my understanding, anytime you start with an attorney and then the attendants start trying to contact you, you never respond. Am I correct?
Correct. If you've already served notice, you could void that notice by holding an oral conversation with your tenant.
Oh, no, I started straight with the attorney. I decided I'm gonna back out and let them handle everything. So they already.
So then I would respond to the tenant like this. Please
Okay.
feel free to send my attorney a request, an email with your request.
Okay, okay, I'll do that.
And it's not rude, it's not mean, it's not being a jerk, it's covering your own asset.
And see,
So I got a question for you guys, okay? And hear me out, because I'm working on something right now trying to help us little mom and pop landlords. What if there were home loans out there? Just saying, because I'm trying to think outside of the building. How can I help more people? What if there was a home loan out there for cash for keys? What if there was a home loan out there for save my asset? What if there was, and it worked like a second, where you could pull out $75,000, pay your tenant what you need, and then still have the money to flip your vacant, and it works like a second, you pay it over the course of 30 years. That way you're not bleeding right now. What do you guys think of that? Cash for
based
keys,
upon, yeah,
loans.
going on right now, it sounds like an excellent idea, only because I have gone through this whole process of going back and forth to court. And like I was explaining to all of you, it started in February, and as of September, I was still running back and forth to court. And each one of those days I was going to court starting in June or July, it was $2,400 a day that I would go. And each time the
Hold
opponent,
on.
go
A
ahead,
day,
a day.
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 $2,400 a day.
That's correct.
I know, I'm just saying it so that, yes, Tony, that's Helen Grace Long. I'm just saying it so that they understand how much a jury trial actually costs.
And we didn't get the case ever heard. Keep in mind, opposing counsel did 2 no-shows, which I still had to pay my attorney firm. And then the third time she came in asking for a continuance, which I still had to pay my attorney. And then the 4th time she came in asking for another continuance.
Every time Julia wants to know what's $2,400 a day.
The attorney that I had chosen, the company, I would never use them. And I would tell anyone, never use Little and Little, okay? They are in Glendora, which was close by me. They didn't bother to tell me or mention anything about them having to pay an outside attorney that was in Westlake Village, and the court case was held in Santa Monica.
They call it an appearance attorney, and they pay an appearance attorney less money than they charge for themselves.
Okay. And they guaranteed her $400 for travel fee to go, and $400 travel fee to go back home. That's $800 for the day. And then they were charging $600 per hour. So you want to know how the $2,400, that's how it came about.
Anybody else squeezing their cheeks? Just saying.
And they were getting ready to do it again. They sent another person in, and that's when I decided, no, we're going to go ahead and dismiss without prejudice. Because I could see that they could carry this whole thing out indefinitely, because after all, she was still getting paid for a trip fee to come and to go. Well, who's to say she's going to go back home? And even if she didn't, like I told the attorney.
Honey, she's not. She has 6 more appearances in the same courthouse when she's done with yours.
And that's what I was going to say. Anne was charging me that, and she had 2 other cases that she was running back and forth between me and the other person. So I'm thinking, is she charging them $800 for travel fee as well?
No, that person that's making the appearance is making $150 a day, and that travel fee bullshit went in your attorney's pocket.
Wow. 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 So they sent me that bill, and I hit the fan, so I'm down $14,000 with them. And
so now everybody understands. Hold on, you're out $14,000 in how many months?
From June until September, for 3 months, and the case was never tried. They were going to continue, because they said they were having to locate a court. I don't know if anybody understood it, but I'll break it down, because I did ask the judge, the attorney they had representing me, and to me, she was a mouse, and I really needed a pit bull. And so when you see, and I told that attorney, you should have allowed me to gauge what type of attorney I wanted, whether it's male or female. someone that was experienced only in evictions, which I found out she was not. So as a result of that, she was asking the former attorney that they had assigned to me that only did appearances, just like Patty said. She was asking her what to do right in front of me. She's asking her what to do. So I said, these cases that you did so well with, were they eviction cases? Oh, no, they weren't. They were civil cases. And so,
Hey, everybody pay attention. Patty's about ready to give you a referral for an attorney.
okay, okay.
Her name is Sasha Struthers. She covers the LA area. The dog just tried to knock over my tripod. That wasn't me. Her name's Sasha Struthers. She works with AGLA. I believe she's on their board. Why am I telling you about her? She doesn't do evictions.
What does she
Patty,
do?
cash for keys.
Oh, cash for keys. Okay, let me put this
And
down.
see, other people are saying Sasha's amazing. Sasha's amazing. She does not do evictions because she knows our system's broken.
Yeah, but
She does cash for keys and nothing but.
How
Now,
much she
understand-
charges? How much? How much she charges for these?
I don't know. You guys are going to have to reach out to Sasha. I can't answer the questions that are coming, but you guys always ask me. Let me know if you find a real good attorney. Let me find an honest attorney. Here you go. She's $4.50 an hour, and all she does is cash for keys. And from what I understand, she's extremely successful at it.
let me tell you this, I did go to mandatory settlement conference. I was being totally reasonable. At that stage, she was down 4 months, I believe. She was already down 4 months, which was like $1,100 a month. And I agreed to allow her to keep that amount and pay her $2,500 to get out by the end of the month. And this was on August 5th. So the attorney that was acting as the mediator, she goes out in the hall, talks to her attorney and her. And she comes back and she says, well, she wants to counter your offer with 2 types of counter offers. She says, do you want to hear? And I said, sure. And she said, the first one is she wants you to never be able, did you hear what I said? Never be able, leave her alone and never be able to ever evict her and allow her to pay the back rent over a period of time. That was the first offer. I said, that's a hell to the no. And then the second one was, or give her $30,000 cash that day and she'd move out by the end of the month. And I said, that's
No, if you
double-
want $30,000 cash today, you'll be gone by midnight tonight.
right. I said, no, period.
No, all you want to be that demanding and blazing? I'll be that blazing too. You be gone
Oh,
by
I got you.
midnight.
I got you. That's what
You-
what I should have said. I was
Right.
too angry. I was gritting my teeth. I was too angry to have even thought of.
You got to take a deep breath and not be in a place of anger when
Yeah.
they're ready to make a settlement conference with you. Don't look at it that way. Look at it and what piece of crap bullshit idea are you going to
Is
throw at me from left field to see if it sticks on the wall? Don't make the mistake of thinking that you're actually going to come up with something reasonable that's going to settle. If you
Okay.
do, you're setting yourself up for failure. What
So
you
what
need
I-
to do is have the mentality of, okay, what kind of bullshit thing are you going to throw at me now? Okay.
Exactly.
Because otherwise it's just going to keep messing with your mentality and that's not good.
No, it's not. It's not. I've been under extreme amount of stress. So you're right, because my hair literally was falling out from all the stress that I was going through from all the times back and forth in court. So then the very last time I said, submit another offer, the attorney did. And she came back with nothing but cash for keys, which she's looking at cash for keys as $30,000. Now, from your experience and from what you've heard, Patty, I'm interested in knowing what has been what you would consider the norm for cash for keys.
How many months did you say that $15,000 case that you just dismissed and no ruling happened took?
That was, okay, April, May, June, July, August. It was 5 months. It was 5
And
months. Plus,
Hold on. Let's just throw an average rent of $2,000 in those 5 months and call that $10,000 of lost rent.
okay,
Okay. And I know $2,000 could be high, it could be low. I'm just throwing it out there as an average. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's say you lose $10,000 in rent, plus you lost $15,000 in legal expenses. So that's $25,000, but now they're out now.
Mhm.
You didn't lose 5 months.
Yeah, I know because Section 8 was paying the majority of her rent. Okay,
I get it, but you understand what I'm trying to
got it.
tell you now? When
Mhm.
I'm telling people, "Oh, you're gonna do an eviction, you better be ready because you're looking at 25,000 to
Yes.
$50,000. And you're the person that could tell us right now, Patty's not far off with her number.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not. And that's the reason I,
Okay, so now when a tenant's telling you, pay me 20 grand and I'll move out, and you know that that's at least a $30,000 bill, but you're not gonna lose 5 months, they'll be out in 30 days, that's a much better deal, isn't it?
it is.
And now that Patty's talking to lenders that are gonna be starting cash for keys loans, and I kid you guys not, you guys watch, something's coming up. It's called an SMA loan. Save my asset.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm working on it right now with a lender, trying to think of all these ways that I can help these owners stay out of foreclosure and not have to have their units held hostage against them.
Mhm.
But yeah, I look at it this way. So now you're back to, okay, I'm going to spend another $25,000 and get nowhere because that's what happened to you, right? What if I took that $25,000 and offered it to the tenant to be out in 30 days? Hell, I'll give him 60 days. I'll even play nice.
Well, I even tried that, gave her 60 days. She still wanted the 30,000. Okay.
So this is what I'm going to tell you. You offered and you played and you played. And now I hate to say this to you, but buckle up because now you're going to say, well, I'm not offering you anything to get out. You need to pay the rent.
Mhm.
I'm evicting you for non-payment of rent. We tried to do cash for keys and you didn't want to play nice. So now I'm going to press the limit to the law on you.
Mhm.
And we're going straight through with eviction. And then I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to stand my ground. No, I'm not willing to settle. She needs to pay the rent. Nope, I'm standing my ground. She needs to pay the rent. Nope, standing my ground. She needs to pay the rent. And at the very last minute, it's going to be, okay, she wants to settle, but I don't want to settle. I want my rent money. I'm not paying you to get out. I offered you that months ago and you didn't take it. And this has cost me a loss of rent. So let your attorney learn a really valuable lesson right now. I'm moving forward with my eviction against you. I'm not paying you a dime to get out. And the reason why attorneys hold their foot to the fire for cash for keys money is they get a third of that. That goes to the attorney, not to them.
Okay.
33 and a third % is awarded to their legal counsel.
Okay.
That's why they hold your foot to the fire for relocation fees because they get a piece of that. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It helps you understand why. Why did they rake me over the coals, get all this time, cost me all this money, and then still want 30,000?
Right.
That's why.
It's crazy. To me, it's nothing less than extortion.
Extortion, bureaucracy, bullshit, and extortion. And that's why I tell you guys, stay away from the legal process. It's freaking broken.
It is.
It's a broken system.
Even the judge said it. The judge said it.
And people ask me all the time, Patty, find me a good, honest attorney. I'm saying, find me a good, honest surgeon. Okay? It's a practice. It's not science. Okay? It's a practice. And that's why I'm telling you guys, yeah, call Sasha because she's not even trying to do evictions in this broken system. She's just paying them to go away.
Do you happen to know the average? What, in other words, and not in terms of dollar amount, but is it months to stay and also cash for keys, or is it one or the other? Is it
No. So usually, and I could tell you this as a real estate broker, okay? Because only 4 people are allowed to do cash for keys transactions: the owner of record, a licensed agent working under a broker, or an attorney. That's it.
I'm a licensed broker and have been for many, many years.
But if you own the property, you can do cash for keys, okay?
Mhm.
You can't do cash for keys for someone else. It's a real estate transaction, is why they're making you be licensed. Okay, ask me your question again. I got it. I reeled it back in. Okay, so look at it this way.
Mhm.
Hi, Miriam. I need you to go ahead and move out of the house that you're living in. The owner wants to go ahead and sell. It's no fault of your own, so they're going to go ahead and offer you some relocation fees to help you with your expenses. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you 30 days to move out and give you $30,000. In the event you need 60 days to get out, we're going to go ahead and give you 20,000. And in the event you want 90 days to vacate, we're going to give you 10 grand. So now it's back in there. Hey, how quick can I get out of here?
Mhm.
See what I mean?
I got you.
More time, less money. I
She's-
really need more time than that. Then I can do that, but I'm going to give you less money.
She's Section 8, and if, from my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, she loses the case, she also loses her Section 8 privilege. Is that correct?
Absolutely. She loses Section 8 for her lifetime
Exactly.
if she is evicted.
Yeah.
So
That's why-
look at it this way.
Mhm.
You already know
Mhm.
what she's up to.
Okay.
She's not going to pay you. She's going to hold your foot to the fire. And then at the very last minute, she's going to have you pay her to go away so she doesn't lose her Section 8. She has a pocket full of money and she never had to pay you. Does that sound right?
I don't know. I hope that's not going to be the case. But
Look at her side of the fence. That's
Yeah.
what her mentality is right now.
oh yeah, because she did the same thing to the prior landlord, and because it was
Now,
sealed.
if you say, I'm not settling, I'm not paying her, the reason I'm here is she didn't pay me the rent.
Mhm.
I'm not condoning bad behavior.
Exactly.
And that's the person that I push the issue with. You know why? Because it sends a message to all my other tenants not to mess with me. I don't play. Do you
Right.
want to know? I had a tenant once. Landlord called us and said, hey, Patty, this tenant has not paid me their $6 for their Section 8 in years.
Mhm.
I said, oh, if you contact Section 8, they'll just kick the person off the program or just stop paying you and kick them out. And I said, I'm going to have to do an eviction. And she's so really? And I was like, yeah. So I served a 3-day the first month and I didn't catch it. It didn't come all the way into my system and I managed 300 doors. So I missed it. I'm human. It was on my late rent report the first month, but it was late rents of $6. So I didn't catch it. Make sense? I'm thinking that that's a utility bill they didn't pay all of, not rent. Okay. When it showed up the following month on my bill as $12, because now it's 2 months of rent. Okay.
Mhm.
I still missed it. Patty is human. Okay. $12 on a late rent report. I'm looking for $1,200 that's not paid so I could serve a 3-day, not $12. Third month, Patty catches it. Oh, we're 3 months behind now. And I served her a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit for $18. And I evicted her for it.
Wow. So from my-
18 bucks.
But now I understand that because of Section 8, it's not 3 days, it's 3 days / 30 days.
It's not 3 days / 30 days. It is a
It's-
30-day pay rent or quit. Make no mistake. That
Okay.
does not count weekends or
Right.
holidays.
Right, exactly.
And that applies to everyone that accepts Section 8. It is
Right.
not a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit if you're on Section 8 or VASH. It is a 30-day pay rent or quit, and that does not count weekends or holidays. So it's a 45-day notice to pay rent or quit. And that's why I'm telling you to have a 0 tolerance policy on your late rents, because you don't want them to be 2.5 months behind. And then you're serving a notice. It's going to take 45 days to expire. It's ridiculous.
But listen, if you doing a perform or quit is 3-day perform and 30-day to move out, right? When you
Not
do
anymore, no.
the perform and quit for Section 8 is 3-day and 30, right?
Not anymore.
So
Well,
say it then.
Now they're making, if it's monetary damages for the material breach, it's a 30-day. And if it's non-monetary for Section 8, it's a 3-day curable.
I don't understand. If, for example, someone is the,
If
let's
it
say,
has to do with money, it has to be a 30-day notice.
how about nuisance, for example, or putting trash out or stuff
3
like that?
days.
3 days to quit and perform, or 3-day to perform and 30-day to move out?
No 30-day to move out. Get
Okay.
rid of that.
Okay, I see. If it's monetary, is 30 days, non-monetary is 3 days.
Right. And the reason I'm telling you to get rid of that or 30 days to move out is because when are you putting up the relocation fees? Oh, yeah. So they took away that or 30 days to move out. So the CARES Act now is it just a 30-day pay, rent, or quit. If they don't pay, you can start the eviction. All subject to the CARES Act, which means anything that's federally funded.
But if you don't have anything federally funded, then what? So,
That doesn't apply to you. So now listen to me. We were talking about Section 8 and VASH. Okay. Now, non-Section 8, non-VASH. 3-day pay, rent, or quit is for rent only, nothing else. No late fees, no nothing. Okay. Nothing. Everything else goes on a covenant notice, a cure or quit. They are the same thing. So monetary damages, 3-day cure or quit. Material breach of the list, unauthorized occupants, unauthorized pets, also a 3-day curable breach of covenant. Pay rent or quit is 3 days, but it is only for rent. No late fees, no nothing, nothing. No broken window, no utility bill, no. Pay rent or quit is for rent only. If you put anything else on there, you lose. Rent only.
so all the breaches, what is it again? I really want to understand that part because this same tenant is breaching across the board.
Okay, so
okay.
look at it this way. If they're breaking the rules, you use a covenant notice, correct?
If you're making reference to the 3-day to perform or get, that's the covenant?
That is a covenant.
Okay.
So it's also called a 3-day curable breach of covenant notice.
Curable breach.
Breach of covenant. And that is the legal term. A cure or quit is property management slang. Tomato, tomato, they are one and the same thing.
So I have never seen that form in AGLA's forms or.
Yes, you have.
I have?
Uh-huh. You know what a 3-day cure or quit is for unauthorized occupants?
No, I have to say no.
Have you ever used a 3-day cure or quit for unauthorized pets, a late fee?
Yes, some time ago, all this prior to obviously COVID.
Same document, sweetheart.
Okay.
Same document. That has not changed. What has changed is if the tenant is on Section 8 and that breach is involving money, then the covenant notice has to be a 30-day because it's monetary. You're asking for money.
So I can't have both of those going on simultaneously, the one for money and then another case, a separate case?
Yes, you can. But if you accept money, you void the other issue. See
Well,
what I mean?
That's okay. Because she has all of her personal things all over the back. It's a 4-unit building, and that doesn't leave any other tenant to do the thing she's doing. She has plants all over the back. She has a big, huge barbecue grill that she has in the back. She places the trash cans right up against the building. There is a designated area all the way away from the building. Everybody in the building uses that area except her. And she's
So if they're on Section 8 and you want to tell them that there's no storage of personal items in the common area anymore, then you would serve them that 30-day change of terms. If
Okay,
they're on Section 8, you would serve them a 3-day cure or quit if they were in violation of that. I'm going to throw something different at you. Now you're serving them a cure or quit or a 3-day curable breach of covenant, tomato, tomato, same thing. You're serving them that notice, but it's for 30 days because now they're on Section 8. And the reason that you're serving them a notice is they didn't pay the water bill. So because you're asking them to pay money, it has to go on a 30-day cure or quit, a 30-day breach of covenant, not a 3-day. And that only applies if they are on Section 8 or on VASH.
Okay, so another example would be, for example, if they haven't paid a late fee, I would serve a 30-day notice to pay or quit because it's a monetary.
Only if they're on Section 8,
Right,
yes. And
right.
if you're in LA County, I wouldn't push a late fee issue, but you got it, David. You're talking out loud and you're talking right.
so I just need to go ahead and give them is it a 30-day notice to perform or change of terms? Is it 30 days?
Well, are you changing a term? Or are you calling them out on a term already in place that they're in violation of?
Exactly, I'm calling them out on a term that's already in violation.
If it's money, it's a 30-day notice. If it's not money, it's a 3-day.
Okay, and then after the 3 days, she doesn't perform because I've asked her this probably not less than a dozen times in writing. And
Well,
she
look, let
ignored.
me ask you this, Miriam. Are
Mhm.
you gonna actually go through the process and evict this person? Or are you gonna try to cash for keys for them? What is your goal?
My goal is to get that raunchy broad out of my building. That's my goal, to get that raunchy broad out of my building.
Go talk cash for keys. If she doesn't play, then serve her on a notice that's gonna stick, like
Mm.
non-payment of rent, or just something that's gonna stick, and then ride it all the way till the cows come home. And it ain't gonna be a pretty ride. And you're gonna wanna settle to be done with it because they're gonna try. They're gonna try, but they're gonna try when they're ready,
Mhm.
not when you're ready.
So you're talking about beyond this 45 day, because she was served on not the 11th. She was served. I can't remember what day she was served. It might have been the 11th. I think it was.
Look at it this way. If she doesn't pay everything that she owes you in 45 days, now you're evicting for non-payment and she's gonna lose Section 8.
Okay, that's what we're gonna have to do. We have to do that because
mean,
she knows the
I
games.
want to say something so loud, but I gotta stop myself and remember there's a whole room full of people here that are listening to us. It's kind of like she's having a blank measuring contest and she doesn't even have that equipment. Okay.
She knows the game better than anybody. She's playing this game out. I've heard her even bragging about it. Like she has a lot to celebrate once I dismiss the case without prejudice. Oh, I have a lot to celebrate now, you know?
Do
So-
you make sure you celebrate that all the way to Section 8 when they don't cover you anymore because you're going to lose your housing voucher because I'm not going to settle going forward.
Exactly. And see if she thinks it's worth
And
it.
this is where I come in with the way I manage. And when I move people in, I tell them, look, I'm going to call you, I'm going to text you, I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to have an open line of communication with you. If I can't get a hold of you and I can't talk to you and we're not communicating, I'm going to serve a notice and that means I'm doing my job. Please don't make me do my job. I'm really good at it.
Mhm.
And Val's right. You got to be very careful what you say to her, especially in LA County because of harassment. It's no joke.
Oh, I know. She called, let me tell you what she calls a harassment.
Well,
Me,
Val's piping in and telling you, be careful, be careful.
that putting a 24-hour notice or 3-day notice service, that is her definition of harassing her and her family.
Well, it is harassment because it's you flexing your muscles and showing her who you are.
Oh, giving her a notice that is a plumbing problem in the building and I need to get in, that's harassment
Yeah.
in her definition.
Of course.
So had never let me in after probably not less than 24 times over a 3.5-year period, not allowing me in my own unit, and would tell me that I can't come in, but she would allow the police in, she would allow in my workers, but would not allow me in to see the damage that she had performed.
Wow.
If Section 8 and I both showed up at the same time for 3 consecutive years in a row, she would cancel and said that she's not feeling well, call them back 15 minutes later and tell them that they can come in now that I was gone.
Hmm.
3.5 years.
Eh. All
So,
right, let's get to some of these other questions. Arlene, RSO cash for keys not an option. Is that correct? I've still seen people do it. You just got to make sure that you're following the rules. They have up to 45 days to rescind the notice in writing, has to be written in their primary language, blah, 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 blah. So you can do it. It is very, very tricky in RSO, but yes, it is possible. Tony, yes, it gets costly, and I still believe tall tenant get free legal representation paid. Another attorney that other landlords use because it was a little bit less expensive than Dennis Block is Vincent Real Estate Law Office. So do your due diligence and call. I love you,
real
Tony.
estate. Awesome.
Patty to the rescue, starting in Aurora, Colorado. Those landlords are in trouble. Oh, Val, I know, isn't it sad? Do CAA forms include the bedroom size on the notice to pay rent or quit? G. Jones, I hope you're still on here. Let me explain why, okay? CAA changes with the law. CAA forms change with the law. CAR forms do not. In fact, CAR runs about 6 months behind the ball instead of being in front of it. CAA runs in front of it. CAR runs behind it. I hope that answers your question, G. Jones.
Is it necessary to put the number of bedrooms on the notice to perform?
In the city of Los Angeles, if it's a pay rent or quit, it's a requirement. For pay rent or quit, also the threshold amount to be on the notice is now a requirement as well.
Now, does the threshold, Patty, absolutely mean that you cannot charge any more than what they have established as a threshold?
No, what the threshold means is you can absolutely not serve a notice until they're over that amount.
Okay.
That's what the threshold means, nothing more.
He's well over the threshold. 74.
Okay, but there's a lot of people that aren't. I mean, look at it this way. If you're on Section 8 and their portion's $112 a month, when are you
Yeah.
going to be over threshold?
5 years.
Never. You can only go back 12 months on a 3-day pay rent or quit. Next question.
You're kidding.
No. So by implementing threshold rent, they annihilated landlords that are getting screwed over by Section 8. I know, I'm one of them.
Wow.
So let me ask you a question. My tenant pays $112 a month. That's her portion.
Okay.
She's in a 3-bedroom house in city of LA. When can I serve a 3-day notice? Never.
Never. Never?
Never, because she'll never be over threshold. She's in a 3-bedroom house and she only pays $112 a month.
May I have it right here, the threshold? Hold on.
This is gonna make you freak.
Yeah, it's $3,335. No, $3,263 for a house, a 3-bedroom house in LA.
And
Wow.
if I'm counting her Section 8 funds of $112 a month, I will never be over $3,000, so I will never be able to serve a 3-day.
Because it's cut off, you said, within how many months?
12. You can only go back 12 months.
Only 12. Oh my God, you're right. There's no
For
way.
California civil procedure, there's no way you could ever serve a 3-day notice.
So you're saying you're stuck with her forever?
Well, I didn't say forever, but I'm letting this one coast a bit because Section 8's paying me. I'm making money.
Right.
Okay. Not trying to be a jerk. But it's a technicality what's going on. But I want to see what the government's doing to help these little landlords because I'm one of them, remember? So I'm just letting that one play.
Yeah, but see, a lot of times they think, and this idiot that I have, and I just want to share this with her defense is, I pay my rent. I pay my rent. So in other words, she's tearing up my place, but she's saying, but I pay my rent. So, I mean, in a case like that, I don't.
Mine says Section 8 pays your rent. What do you want? Well, what do you care? What are you talking to me for?
Oh, wow. And what can you do about that? Nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. Okay.
I can offer her cash for keys.
Yeah, but
I can pay her to go away.
is she tearing up your place?
No, she's actually not.
Okay.
I'm like, we could go to the shooting range and take photos of both our tenants. I'm playing.
I know.
You guys, I'm just playing.
I know exactly what you're saying.
We could go
That's
have
great.
some fun.
I do not see on the one that Dennis Block sent, I do not see anything on here about the number of bedrooms on.
The number of bedrooms has to be on the notice. That happened January 1st of 2023. And then the amount of threshold rent had to be on a notice for RSO starting June 30th of this year. Sorry. Sometimes I gotta lean forward to think in my brain. Sorry. So June 30th, I believe, of this year. No, it happened in April, not in June. Where they changed civil process for RSO now has to have the amount of threshold rent and the bedrooms on the notice.
Oh, I better
Could
let.
someone sue the city of LA? Actually, AGLA is doing that right now. AGLA has a huge lawsuit going.
Yeah.
Yes, the threshold amount now needs to be on the notice, and that change for the bedrooms have had to be on the 3-day notice for the past year, since January 1 of 23. The actual rent amount for the threshold has to be on the notice, I want to say starting, it was either April of this year or June of this year.
I better let them know. So that's the way that it would be considered an invalid submission?
Bingo. The notice is invalid if it's not in compliance with California civil process.
I don't see it on here, so I better let them know.
I'd be calling them.
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now.
Yeah, tell them this is RSO. How come there's not threshold on the notice?
Patty, will the PRC, I think that's what it's called, event,
Yes.
did you say, will that be recorded live so we can ask questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna set up my phone and try to do a Zoom. And
Okay.
then basically I'm gonna have one of you guys, and I mean it like this. One of you guys that come to this event, I'll be asking them, hey, can you sit here and watch my phone? Just leave it paid on me. And when somebody on here types in a question, can you raise your hand and I'll ask you the question out loud, and then I'll answer it that way. So I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have one of my friends like you guys be like, hey, can you sit here and mind the camera? Because you really don't have to do anything except read the questions as they come through, right? So I'm hoping to do that. I plan on doing that. Hopefully that all works out. G Jones, threshold amount is for RSO properties only. It is not a requirement for non-RSO properties. There's one thing you need to remember though. RSO is not just in the city of LA anymore. We are now in Sherman Oaks, in Torrance, in San Pedro, in the Valley. Okay, anything that's governed by RSO needs threshold amount of bedrooms and the amount of threshold rent on the notice. It's a requirement.
Wow.
California civil process. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about? I know we've gone over the hour. I'm not trying to keep you guys today. Please, if you want to go to the PRC event and come have lunch with us, please do. Some people are like, oh, I've already taken Patty's class, preparing yourself for court. I took that a couple years ago. I will see Tony above. I always teach something different. The subject matter is the same, but the content always changes. So remember that if you see a class of mine that you've taken before, I'm teaching the class, but I'm teaching it now in today's market, under today's issues. Scroll up to Tony. I'm scrolling up to Tony. If I serve a 24-hour notice to enter a unit with a contractor, can the tenant prevent me from entering with the contractor? Hold on. I gave the tenant a notice because she claimed she had an infestation before COVID. You can serve her a cure or quit for failing to allow entry or comply with the exterminator. She's just being a twat, Tony. Call her out on it. Serve her a cure or quit for failing to allow entry and failing to comply with the exterminator. Not only am I coming in, sweetheart, I own this place. So get your shit out of the way because here I come.
I had exactly the same scenario, and she's 300 pounds, I'm 130. And she would not let me in. In fact, she bumped me with her big ass body. I called the cops. The cops came. They said because they didn't have anything recorded and it's her word against mine, it's nothing we can do. That's
If you
LA.
would have had a water leak or an emergency, they would have forced entry on her.
Not true. Tried that about 5-6 times. Not true. Not in LA. Nope. Didn't ever work. I can.
Okay, wait a minute. Remember at the beginning of our class today, how we talked about the system being broken?
Yes. They would tell me that they felt sorry for me. And I don't know how you landlords do this.
I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it out loud. So you guys don't shoot the messenger. Okay.
Okay.
You know how many landlords cannot get restraining orders against their tenants right now in LA?
I have no idea.
A butt ton. Do you know why?
No.
During COVID, when they shut the courts down, 6 months, no court, a lot of us landlords started panicking, but my tenant's not paying the rent. I was right at sheriff lockout. What do you mean you're not going to do the eviction now for 6 more months? What are you talking about? So we went into the courthouses and filed restraining orders against our tenants, and those restraining orders evicted our tenants. It didn't take long for the courts to get savvy, figure out what us landlords and little guys were doing in order to bypass the court system and bypass an eviction, just getting a restraining order against them with an order to stay away with the resident on process is boom, gone, they're evicted. So now that the court got savvy to us landlords and what we are doing to get our tenants out during COVID, they stopped issuing restraining orders for landlords against tenants so that they won't use it to do an eviction.
All counties?
Cause, effect.
Is that all counties or just LA County or?
It's really hard for me to get a restraining order against my tenant without a police report, without several of them in San Bernardino.
I have several. Wow. It's broken. It's terribly broken.
I call it the just us system. It's not justice, it's just us. Okay? The just us system.
Patty, were you still looking for a place in the IE to do an event? I was texting you, but I didn't know if you got those
know
text messages.
I've had a heck of a week. I ended up with an injury. I had a sprained ankle. I've been surfing on my couch for the last 4 days. Today's the first day I got a range of motion back. There's no way that I'm going to be able to schedule it before the event. So do me a favor. Let's put together something for the 1st of next year. That way we have plenty of time to plan for it.
Okay, sounds good.
Work?
Yeah.
That way we're not trying to do it before the election on January 4th. I mean,
Okay.
November 4th. Can you imagine? We got 3 weeks, girl.
Got
So
it. Okay.
Let's still do something. Most definitely. Let's get Dan involved. I'll be talking to him on Thursday, so I'll let him know that we're going to plan something out here in the IE and we'll just go from there. Uh-oh, Allie's asking me something. Allie, I was going to ask you something. Did you see the PRC class for next week? I believe it's Thursday. I was gonna tell you, if you want to come see me or your team does, make sure you sign up for that. That's funny. Yeah, it's not a requirement yet. That positive rent recording is only on low-income housing for low-income tenants, and you as the landlord can charge them up to $10 a month to do that reporting for their credit history. It's not a requirement yet. And the Assembly bill, Senate bill to pass for, help me, structural, hold on. It's going in my brain. Structural engineers, where all walkways have to be inspected. A Senate bill went through right now. We're waiting for it to see if it passes. They're most likely going to extend our balcony walkway inspections to January 1st of 2026. So it looks like we're buying another year there. So fingers crossed, hope that goes through. I will be at PRC next Thursday. I got a feeling we're gonna have to add another day. We'll see though, we'll see. Hopefully we get a good turnout. All right, you guys have a great day. If you need me, you know how to find me. And we're gonna see a lot more stuff going on. I'm doing a live and in person on November 6th. Maybe it's November 9th for AGLA. In Koreatown. So if you guys are in that area, feel free to sign up for that. Also, AGLA is doing their installation event and cocktail party on December 6th at the California Club in downtown LA. I kind of want to go. I just don't want to have to drive. So I'm tentatively booked for that, for their installation event. So let me know if you guys are going to attend. I'd love to see ya. All right, everybody, have a great.
Patty,
go
sorry,
ahead.
can I have one quick question? You know, you said about the toilet, if your toilet's down for over 8 hours, what did you say to do? That's when you would do what, a hotel? If it's over 8 hours?
Yeah, I'd still be issuing them a rent credit for the inconvenience, but I would not be relocating them until that problem existed for longer than 24 hours.
Oh, longer than 24. Okay, thank you.
No worries, no worries. And then you guys got to play this little trick, okay? Pay attention. You're calling me on a Friday because your because you have no hot water. I have till next business day to respond. I have put in a request. They may come try to fix it over the weekend, but it should be corrected on Monday. If it's not fixed on Monday, I'm issuing on a rent credit for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at that point because it's not fixed yet. See how I bought myself till next business day to respond? If they push the issue, bend, but don't give away the farm at hello, okay? Don't be like, oh, I'm so sorry I had no hot water for 2 hours. I'm gonna credit you for the whole day. Inconvenience versus habitability. My dog's yelling at me.
Got it, thank you.
Go out. No problem. I'm just trying to help you because sometimes you're like, I don't want to give them a rent credit. That's freaking ridiculous. And that's why I'm giving you the verbiage of I responded with the next business day. It just gives you a little bit of time, gives you some wiggle room, lets you breathe a little bit, and calms them down. I have till next business day to respond, and it happens to be a holiday weekend. I'll do everything I can to help you, but please note, I do have till next business day to respond. Okay, so you do have that capability. I wouldn't be crediting somebody. I would be crediting them for an inconvenience before I put them in a hotel. All right, you guys have a great week. If you need me, hunt me down. You know how to find me.
Thank you, Patty.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Take care. No more
everybody.
falling down. No falling
No
down.
more falling down.
Sorry that happened. Take
Bye,
care.
everybody. Have a
Bye.
good week.